So you've either just switched or are thinking of switching to keyboard and mouse, and you need to know the best mouse, the best keyboard, the best sensitivity, the best binds, and how to actually get good. Well, in this video, I'm going to be answering all of those questions. I guarantee you'll learn something new in this video. The first thing you need to get before switching to keyboard and mouse are peripherals. If you already have peripherals, this won't matter, but if you don't, you'll need to buy them. This includes a keyboard, mouse, and a mouse pad. So the first thing you need to do is consider your budget and preference when it comes to your keyboard and mice. For example, if you like red switches more than brown switches, then you should buy a keyboard with red switches. The same goes to the mouse. If you prefer a lighter mouse, then you should obviously go for a light mouse. If you do have a high budget, then you're able to buy some high-end peripherals. But I personally would buy budget peripherals, especially when starting, since you really don't know if you're going to enjoy it. Some good budget options are the Razer Viper Mini and the RK61. You could also get the glorious Model D, which is around £50, so it's a bit more expensive. Once you have the peripherals, the next thing you need are some optimal binds. I have a full video on the best binds and settings, so go and watch that after this video if you need to. But in short, you need to make sure that you don't have a single finger on too many things, since this will make it a lot more difficult to build, edit, switch weapons, basically anything in the game. This is why it's so important to have a mouse with side buttons. You'll free up 2 binds, which will be a game changer. Also, when deciding on binds, you'll need to make sure that the binds you choose are near WA, S and D. This makes it so they're all easy to reach. Now that you have some optimal binds, finish with your settings, you need to decide on a good sensitivity. If you just prefer specifically playing on a high or a low sense, then obviously you should aim to go for that. But if you really don't mind, then there's a few other factors. For example, if you have hardly any mouse space, then you might have to go for a higher sensitivity, since you can't move your mouse as much as you need to be on a low sense. After finishing doing your settings, now you need to actually get good. When starting keyboard and mouse, the best way to do this is by having a specific practice routine that has some very effective drills to help you improve. I also have a video on the best practice routine that'll take around 20 to 30 minutes. You should probably do it around daily, aim to do it very consistently, so go and watch that video as well if you need to. But in general, for a practice routine, it should involve free building, some piece control practice, definitely aim, and also editing. And finally, I'm going to give you some general tips. So tip number 1, don't go back to controller for like 10 minutes just for fun. I made this mistake so many times and it honestly ruined my progression. I would have switched so much earlier if I didn't do this, since I kept switching back, which made me feel demotivated and then just go back. By going back to controller, all you're doing is hindering your progression, and whilst that time on controller will feel good, once you hop back on keyboard and mouse, you'll be bad again, which will then make you feel more demotivated. Tip number 2, watch progression videos, but don't compare yourself. If you're switching to keyboard and mouse, I could put money on the fact that you've watched at least one progression video. These videos will motivate us to switch, since it shows us what's possible when switching, which is a really good thing. But if you start to compare yourself, which a lot of people do, including myself, to the people in these videos, you'll start to feel the opposite way. Most of the time, the people in these videos have been playing for a bit longer than they say. So obviously watch these videos for motivation, but don't get annoyed with yourself if you're not as good as someone in the same time frame. And for the third and final tip, you need to set goals. These goals can be short or long term. It really doesn't matter as long as you have something you're aiming for. If you're playing on keyboard and mouse without any goals, you're just going to be playing aimlessly. You will not be motivated at all and just want to switch back. Setting goals literally just gives you another reason to play on keyboard and mouse, which will motivate you. An example of a short-term goal would be to do a triple edit within the next week. If you did enjoy this video or found it helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out so much more than you think. On screen right now is a video of why I specifically switched to keyboard and mouse, so go and watch that.